Good afternoon. My name is Bart Wilder. This is my son, Micah, and I want to just give you a little background on us. Micah's been playing basketball now for the last 10 years. We started in the church league and then have moved our way up through the rec system, and then in the last couple of years have been playing the AAU ball. And so it wasn't until this last year that we really have taken a serious look at trying to get better and all the different things that go along with that process. And so that's one of the things that leads us here today, is getting an opportunity to tell you about our experiences working with Daryl and the Hope Sports Academies.
It's been fun. It's been long. I have gotten a lot better over this last year just because of Hope.
Playing hoops? Cool. The thing I thought that was the most important about this question is that I felt that Daryl has invested. If I was trying to think of one word to describe over this last year, is how much he has invested not only in you as a person, but as a young athlete. And I go back to some of our very first experiences when we were talking about whether we were playing in the gym in Huffman or we were out there at the park there at Wildflower. But from every experience we've had, I felt like he has invested in you, in not just making sure that we had workouts or we had a good workout, but more importantly that he followed up to how are you doing? Whether it was sending text or phone calls. What probably impressed me the most is when he would show up at some of your rec games or even the AAU games, just to observe you and see kind of the things that we had been working on, how you were starting to integrate those into your style of play. And I think, in that regard, that probably generated some of the confidence that I think that you exhibit today as an athlete, more so than probably where we were this time a year ago.
I think I've had a lot of support over the last year, on and off the court, especially during school tryouts. Just before it, looking at a text that he would send me just as a confidence booster. It's given me a lot over whether it's like being able to shoot the ball right, how to get back if I've made a mistake and get through it. If I've had a bad game, don't let that affect me for the next one.
I see an excitement in you again to want to get out here and learn and compete and play. I think that this journey over the last 10 years, you've been a good little athlete, but as you grow up, you see that everybody keeps getting bigger, better, faster, stronger, and you want to be a part of that. And I think that this opportunity has really kind of opened that door for you, because in doing so, I think it has given you more confidence, not just in your ability, but in yourself and how you can compete with those that you're playing with. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think how your approach has changed?
Probably just how I prepare for it. I will make sure that I'm ready, I'm in the right headspace for everything, focus a lot more on it, and not just go and screw around, but to actually be involved with it. At just all the AAU tournaments, if I see Coach O there, then I know that it's just a big confidence boost knowing that he wanted to take time out of his day to show up there for me and to support me and coach me through the games, whether I'm doing really good or if I'm not having such a great game. But it's just helped me a lot knowing that he's there to support me.
Cool. You know what mine was? So I think a year ago when we were starting this, we'd just come off an experience that, felt like didn't get the opportunity to play like you wanted. And we knew that for you to have that chance, it was going to take doing a little bit more than what Dad could do to help you, so to speak. And, Daryl and the Academy have been a huge part of that from the very first day, where we set expectations and goals that, hey, doesn't mean that we're going to be perfect, but we're going to work hard. And if we work hard, I like our chances that, we'll have success. And I think whenever it came time to try out again for school ball, that was a real kind of shaky moment, more just from the confidence perspective of, you have the ability. We always have believed you've had the ability, but it's sometimes the hardest part's between the ears. And I think that all the conversations that he had with you about the hard work that you put in and the effort that you put forth, that, don't worry about it, go out there and just do what you do. And I feel good about what will happen. So for me, that was probably one of the most memorable moments, because whether you got on the team or you didn't, that wasn't going to change my opinion about how hard you had worked. And so I think I've always kind of shared with you, it's more about attitude and effort. Good attitude, hard work, that's all we can ask for. And so, we were fortunate enough that it worked out the way that we wanted. But again, to me, that was a culmination of that year-long work of just, again, when we talk about, in my opinion, him being invested in you. It wasn't just about coming and doing workouts. It was, where is Micah right now? Where's Micah's, confidence? All the different things that go into help being successful, and not just a successful athlete, but, a successful young man. The thing that I've been probably the most impressed when I think about, Daryl and what he has done, he's been consistent. From the very beginning, it's how we're going to treat each other, the expectations we're going to set for when we're together and when we're going to work, the expectations we set for what it's going to take to prepare on your own. But, the manner in which that we treat each other respectfully, whether it's from a coach to an athlete or vice versa, the thing that I love the most about here is that there is genuine respect and caring for the individual, not just the athlete, but the person. The language that is used in this gym is appropriate. The attitudes and behaviors that are tolerated are appropriate. And I think that has just continued to reinforce not only to you, but to me, that we're in the right place. But two, I've noticed how it translates into how the teams that he's associated with act and carry themselves. And to me, that's something I think is important. As a father, I believe in teams. I think sports teaches us so much. It's not all about winning. Success is so much more about the hard work that went in, and hope the day of when we compete and we compete hard, we're successful. But when we lose, I think we learn more about ourselves. And I think that what Coach Daryl here has done through the Academy is kind of help young men grow, from just being athletes into young men.
When I win, it's great, but when I lose, it's a learning opportunity. And there's been a lot of wins and there's been a lot of losses, but Coach has been there through it all, the wins and the losses, and it's really helped me. It's gonna keep helping me as I go on.
Well, man, I think you said it well. And, I appreciate the opportunity that we have here with Coach Daryl and the Hope Sports Academy. So that being said, man, if there's anything else that we've missed, we'd be happy to come back and talk more about it in the future. But we're very excited to be here and looking forward to what the future has to offer.